thousand things is the point I'm saying here. And you're not suggesting, I'm sure, that we shouldn't have reported what the Prime Minister was saying.
You were talking about semantics a little while ago.
Well, I find it virtually impossible to believe that Britain could have got away with the invasion of Iraq if the media had been doing its job. When Blair was standing up and saying our policy in the region was to bolster the forces of democracy, I mean, really, the proper reaction to that would have been to burst out laughing. There's simply no history of that at all. Britain has been on the side of authoritarian repressive regimes. They are our allies. The Omanis, the Saudis, the Egyptians, they are our allies, not the more democratic, more liberal forces in the region. And I think that if journalists had even had a slight interest in looking at the history and in looking at what the government was actually saying at the time or what the evidence was at the time, they would have reported things in such a manner that the government just would not have been able to have got away with what they did.
Look where we are today.
Good morning, Vietnam. Welcome to the Dawn Buster.
This was the Vietnam War, which I reported. A new military jargon, collateral damage, was designed for the media and to cover up the scale of the industrial killing of up to 3 million people and the terror of indiscriminate bombing, often known as turkey shoots. The longest bombing campaign in history happened here in North Vietnam, mostly unseen from outside. This is a photograph of the town of Ham Long in the north. Not a building remained, only bomb craters. Pictures like this were seldom published. Vietnam was the blueprint for the wars of today. Murder and destruction replaced military tactics. Almost every man, woman, and child became the enemy.
People running lonely dice.
So remember Vietnam, folks? That's my era. One of the biggest lies ever told, except where we are right now. But this is the culmination war, the war we're in right now. It's a war between warmongers and people who call themselves Christians, but they're actually working in the Antichrist world. And there's the Muslims, the Arabs, the Palestinians that believe in Allah. And when you hear Allah Akbar, it means praising to God. It doesn't mean they're terrorists. That's how twisted the media is made. These poor, innocent people that are called terrorists, when the terrorist is Benjamin Netanyahu in the military-industrial complex. So as the elders in the room, folks, and the ones that are young enough to know that war is not the answer, we all need to get together now, right now, and vote them all out. It is the biggest, most important vote in the history of the United States. Because if we vote them all out on November 5th, a major shift, then we have the potential to stop this war and all future wars. It's up to you. Stay in your Republican hat or your Democratic hat, and the war will continue. And more wars will come if we make it past this one. And Netanyahu doesn't use a nuclear weapon.